standard form of categorical preposition. So there are four standard forms: A, E, I and O. A simple way to understand is these are vowels. So A, E, I and O are the vowels which are taken to understand the categorical preposition. Now this logic concept was laid down by Aristotle, and this is one of the basic concepts for the theory of knowledge widely accepted as of now. Now these categorical prepositions are based on the concept of deductive argument. Deductive argument means that the argument would either be valid or invalid in nature, and we have covered this separately in our lecture on deductive and inductive argument. Now these categorical propositions establish relation between two classes. Now class is a group of objects which have common characteristics. So if I say all cats are mammals, so cat is one of the class and mammals is another class. Now these two classes, I want to establish a relation between them, and this is when we say we use a categorical preposition. So four categorical prepositions. The first preposition is a preposition. Now with the word a, we can remember a for all. So here we say all s is p. Now very important to note, when I say all s is p, let me take an example. I can say all cats are mammals, or let me take a different example today. For example, I say all athletes are females. Now here I want to explain a universal affirmative preposition. Since it is all, it is universal and it is positive. There is no negation, no, not, none. So it is affirmative, positive, and therefore it is a universal affirmative preposition. Universal affirmative prepositions are known as a prepositions. Example is all s is p. So here s is what? Athletes, and p is what? Females. When I say all athletes are females, in this scenario, I would shade the region, listen very carefully, I would shade the region where the athletes are not female. So the region which is marked by red is the region which I have crossed. I have not taken into account. So athletes, when I say all athletes are female, the only location where athletes can be would be this location, where there is an intersection of athletes and females. And this depiction of two overlapping circles is known as Venn diagram, a very basic concept laid down by John Venn, a logician and a mathematician who tried to explain logic through Venn diagrams. Now, here all athletes are females. I shade or I color the area where the athletes cannot be there who are females. So the only place where athletes would be the region where I have marked tick. And this is the universal affirmative preposition. I write it as all s is p. It is universal, includes everything. Affirmative because it is positive. Now, whole of one class, when it is included in another class, we call this as a universal affirmative preposition. The next is universal negative preposition. I take the same statement, but I say no athlete is or no athletes are females. So my first circle is of athletes. My second circle is of females. Now, no athletes is females. That means I shade the center portion of the two circles. There cannot be a region where both of them intersect. So either athletes can be here and females can be here. Common area, there can be nothing. As simple as that. So it is mutual exclusion, and this kind of preposition is known as E prepositions. So E prepositions is universal. It includes all. There is no sum element here, and it is negative since it says no s is p. Very, very important. So these are known as E prepositions. The next is the I preposition. I preposition is a particular affirmative preposition. Particular means I use some. I do not use all, none. I use some. Affirmative means it is positive. Some S is P. That means I make the same sentence. Some athletes are females. My first circle shows athletes. My second circle shows females. Now this X denotes some. I cannot shade the complete area in this case because it is some, not all. It is particular, and since it is particular, I denote it by X. So I mark X in a region of intersection between athletes and females, indicating that there are some of the athletes who are females and those some would lie in this region of intersection. They won't lie anywhere else. Okay. So this is particular affirmative preposition, also called as I preposition, and it is represented as some S is P. The next is a particular negative preposition. It is particular, it is not all, it is not none, but it is some. So it is particular, and negative means there has to be an element of negation, no, not. So I make a statement, no, some athletes are not females. Okay, so I make a statement, some athletes are not females. The first circle is of athletes. The second circle is of females. Now here, this preposition first of all is known as a O preposition. And here I say some of the athletes are not female. So I mark some with X always. So I write X where? I write X in a region where it is outside the females. So this is one circle of athletes, the other circle of females. I mark X in the region which is outside females, indicating that some athletes are not females. And this is how we explain as some S is not P. So S and P, as we have discussed in our class on logic, explains subject and predicate. So here athletes is S and female is P predicate. We are sorry to discuss it towards the end of the lecture, but yes. So those are S and P. Now these are O prepositions, which is particular negative preposition. So quick recap of all the four together. So the first one is a universal affirmative where I say all S is P. So A for all, A preposition is what is universal affirmative preposition, and it is explained as the first Venn diagram. The next is universal negative preposition, which is E preposition when I say no S is P and the two are mutually exclusive. The next two are some and some not. Now the sum is represented as some particular affirmative, some S is P, and these are known as I prepositions. And the last one is a particular negative preposition or O preposition where I say some S is not P. And this is how we explain the four standard form of categorical prepositions. Now, I can summarize what we have explained this into the prepositions, the letters which are used, and three qualifiers that we understand with those. And these are the quantity, the quality, and the distribution. So preposition, when I say all SSP, so it is talking about all. And it is universal in nature. So quantity is universal. It is positive, so it is affirmative. So the quality is affirmative. And distribution, distributed and undistributed terms we have covered separately in another class. But the idea is here only subject would be distributed. Now we would understand how to remember this distribution quickly through the square of opposition diagram that we do. But here let's understand, when there is all and some, they are affirmative. When it is no and some not, they are negative. However, when it is either all or no, we call it as universal. And some not are particular in nature. And these A, E, I and O are called as the building blocks of deductive argument, the very basis for the Aristotelian logic, and further to understand the concepts of categorical proposition and square of opposition. The same AEIO categorical propositions can be represented with the square of opposition as we have discussed in the separate lecture, but we won't be going into the details of relations between A, E, I and O for this lecture. But what we need to understand here is the distribution. Now, as we saw, we divide this square of opposition A, E, I and O into two sections, left and right. One of the sections focuses on all and some. So it focuses only on affirmative basis. That means positive responses. The next one talks about no and some not, which is negative. Clear? Very important to remember. When it is affirmative, P is undistributed. However, when it is negative, P is distributed. What is distribution? Distribution is nothing but the attribute that describes the relation between the categorical proposition, and each of the term explains whether or not the other proposition is about the other member of the class that it represents or not. So, in the case of affirmative, P is undistributed. In the case of negative, P is distributed. That means, in the case of E and O, P is distributed. Now, let's switch back to the table that we had created. And here, I can see that in the case of E and in the case of O, I can find P as distributed. Now, let's move to another case. The another case is the same square of opposition diagram, but I divide it top and bottom. Now, when I divided it top and bottom, I say all and no fall in one category. That means they are universal in nature. However, the bottom ones are particular. They focus on some and some not. Now, most important to remember, when it is universal, I can say S is distributed. The subject is distributed. However, when it is particular, I say S is undistributed. Clear? So, S would be distributed in the case of A and E. So, A and E would be the case of all and no where S is distributed. Now, let's go back to the table that we had created, and we can say S is distributed as in A and E. Clear? So, this is the summary of what we understood in this lecture. 4 standard forms of categorical propositions, all, no, some and some not, represented as A, E, I and O. We understand the quantity, quality and distribution here. So, the quantity can be universal or particular in nature. In the square of opposition diagrams, we have understood how we can remember that very well. And similarly, the quality again, so the square of opposition I can divide horizontally or vertically. When I divide it vertically, I say it is affirmative or negative. When I divide it horizontally, I say it is universal or particular. When it is universal, S is distributed. So, for A and E, S would be distributed. However, when it is negative, P is distributed. So, for E and O, P would be distributed. And this is what we have understood with the categorical propositions. The 4 categorical propositions A, E, I and O, their quantity, quality and distribution and the letters that denote it. We would be covering many further interesting lectures in logic. Stay tuned. Have a wonderful day ahead.